All right, folks, here we go. We're making another video today. Birmingham, Alabama. We're at Elmwood Cemetery. Lots of the who's who in Alabama, Birmingham in particular, are buried here. So this story, I've already seen the thumbnail. You know what it's about. This story is one that I originally was not going to do. It involves a kid and a very heinous crime, and those kind of things I've kind of steered away from for the most part. I've tried to. I keep getting requests to do this video, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm going to go ahead and give a warning out now. This video is going to have some details in it that the majority of people probably don't want to hear. I'm going to try to graze over them and not go in too deep on them, but I never have given a trigger warning or anything like that, but this one I believe there might be a need to. So this is y'all's official warning. If you don't want to hear a bunch of bad stuff, get out of here now.
If anybody see Cupcake, just call her name. Don't call her Kamille. She answers to Cupcake. Y'all see the baby? Please just bring her back. Why you choose her? Let's go.
So we're just going to kind of follow the family through the beginning of the morning there, and I'm going to talk and tell you what all they were doing. Essentially, the brother there, he's still a minor. I'm not going to mention his name. He had a football game that day. So April, the mother, and Cupcake there, they all three went to the football game. As soon as the game ended, I was told they came back home and they went to a birthday party that evening for one of the family or friends that was at Tom Brown Village. Okay, I'm going to interject here a little bit and say, y'all don't bash April. I did a lot of research on this, and a lot of people are quick to place judgment on somebody not knowing the situation. We call, society calls these neighborhoods the projects, okay? I don't know where the name come from, but anyhow, moving on. I might get so sidetracked, I'm sorry. These are tight-knit neighborhoods. Everybody knows everybody. And anybody who messes with kids in these neighborhoods gets dealt with, okay? This is not a neighborhood where this kind of stuff's allowed. This neighborhood came together in the midst of this story like no other. I would challenge any neighborhood to come together the way this one did. And they were searching, looking for this kid. Just don't pass judgment on this mama until you have been in her shoes, okay? I've never been there. I'm a parent, though, and I can imagine many times things can happen with your kids, and there you are, you're stuck in the same situation that she's in. Never would have expected it to ever happen, okay? So they're at this birthday party. Kids are outside playing. Everybody's having a good time, right? I can see it in my head. There's probably 15, 20 kids around. There's probably a dozen adults running around. You know what I'm saying? It's probably a great time. In the midst of this, a predator was lurking, okay? Outside, walking through the courtyard, I'm going to show you some footage here while I'm talking to you. I'm going to show you, I went over and visited that area today. Some adults were walking through, interacting with some of the kids, offering them candy. So as the evening winds down, they go to get Cupcake out of the yard. She had been outside playing there for a little bit there towards the end of the evening, playing with some of her friends. There were some older kids in the yard too. of course, running around doing different things. They wasn't all huddled up together. And the brother goes out to find Cupcake, and he can't find her. He comes in panicking to his mother. I can't find her. I can't find her. I don't know where she's at. She's gone. So, of course, all the adults go out and start looking for her. Can't find her. I can imagine full panic setting in. I've lost my daughter at Walmart before, where she's like one row over, and I go full beast mode. Like, where is my kid at? You know, I can't imagine looking in a neighborhood and can't find your kid. And then to make it even worse, they stumbled upon and they found her shoes out near, there's a parking area over on the end. I didn't get video of that today, and I should have, but there's a parking area where the walkway that I'm on leads to. And the guy was parked over there, and one of the little kids ends up telling the brother and the mom, April, that a man had came by and offered Cupcake candy if he'd ride to the store with her to get some. He'd buy her some candy. So he takes Cupcake, puts her in the car, and they're gone. Cupcake's never seen alive again after that moment. So they end up calling the police. Of course, everybody comes in. They're searching everywhere. They're doing everything. They pull all the security footage, and in that area, there's actually quite a bit of security footage for them to go through. One of the neighbors had a camera on the back of his house, amongst other places, and they ended up finding the plates on the vehicle. There's clear video of them walking all the way over to the car. They end up running the plates on that, and the plates come back through a Derick Brown, which is a female, 30-year-old female. It's kind of a weird name for a female, but that is the name, Derick Brown. They look her up, check her out, and find out that she's an habitual drug offender, got tons of charges. She even was arrested for putting a kid in a dryer, like a washer and dryer. She put a kid in there for punishment. And she has 6 children herself, and she has lost all custody of all 6 of them at this time. The police ended up bringing up video snippets and pictures, mugshots and things over to the neighbors in the community there where Cupcake was taken. And the neighbors end up identifying Patrick Stallworth as the man who was out in the courtyard that night. Well, come to find out, him and Derick Brown are together. Apparently, they have an apartment over on the east side of Birmingham. I'm going to show you some footage now and show you what that place looks like. It's pretty rough. Matter of fact, 90% of it's condemned now. And they go over the next night, which is October the 13th, and arrest them both. Upon arresting them, they end up finding out that Stallworth has child images and things. I have to word my stuff carefully here to make sure my video doesn't get hit. Okay, so y'all work with me. He has child images on his phone. None of Cupcake, but lots of child images and things of that nature that are very, very illegal. So Derick, when she was arrested, she was not able to place bond. She was out, I believe, at that time. She already had charges against her from a child abuse case where she had taken police on a high-speed chase. I think 2 or 3 of her kids were in the car. I've read different things, but a couple of her kids were in the car running across Birmingham, high-speed chase and all kind of crazy stuff. And so when she was arrested, she was given no options. Stallworth, on the other hand, as soon as he was booked in, just a few hours later, he was able to bond out. So the story is very, very murky, and there's a lot of details that are not crystal clear, so I'm not going to get into them. We're just going to fast forward to October 21st, and Derick Brown's story completely changes. She has no involvement, no anything at first, and all of a sudden now she remembers everything, and she's got a story to tell. And what she says is that she actually was with Stallworth that night whenever Stallworth claims she didn't know Cupcake was with him, but apparently she was, and it's crazy, I know. So they end up going, they leave Tom Brown Village and go to a Jet Pep nearby and pick up a few things, and then they go back to their apartment. So one thing you got to remember, this story is being told by some drug heads that's trying to rat on each other, so the story is all over the place. So at this point, when Derick tells her story, and it goes on, but Patrick Stallworth ends up finding out about it, I guess, and he wants to tell his part of the story. So what he says is whenever they get back to the apartment, or he gets back to the apartment, he walks in and Derick and Cupcake are sitting on the couch. So he claims when he comes in, they're sitting there, and Derick had said to him that she really wanted to keep this kid and told him that he should do something of an adult nature to her. And because he's such an upstanding citizen, he didn't do it. Instead, he just went outside and smoked a cigarette to get his mind on other things. Yeah. Stallworth then claims that some of this stuff's hard to talk about, man. He then claims that Derick grabs the child around here and asphyxiates, you know, takes the air away. I'm having to word this weird. I'm sorry, y'all, but this genre gets hit hard on YouTube, and I'm trying to do the best I can. But basically, that he said that she was claiming that she was trying to put her to sleep, and he went and just got in the bed. He didn't do anything. That's what he says. Upstanding guy, right? Sees a kid getting that done to her and just goes and gets in the bed. And when he wakes up in the morning, Derick's back in the bed, and he doesn't know anything happened. He doesn't have any idea about nothing. He also claims that after all this happened, that she stripped down Cupcake, hair bows, clothes, and everything, and put her in the bathtub and got her ready for bed. Once again, these statements are all over the place. I'm doing the best I can to put them together. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me either. It's just, these are just statements that were said. So Derick claims when they got home that Patrick went inside with Cupcake, and she sat outside and smoked. And she sat out there for a while, came back in the house, went to the bathroom to use the bathroom, and Patrick was in there, and he had walked out of the bathroom, and she admits that she had used methamphetamines and trazodone, which apparently is like I think antidepressant, I believe, but she was taking medication and stuff too. And she said somebody walked by the door, but she wasn't sure who it was. She wasn't sure who it was because she thought she might be tripping. So she finished doing that in the bathroom, and then she went in there and made her a sandwich and got in the bed and went to sleep. So Derick claims that she wakes up in the middle of the night, and she gets up and goes into the living room. And when she rounds the corner, they're on the couch. I'm going to have to paraphrase this some, y'all, because I'm not about to say this. I'll just say it like this, that Patrick and Cupcake, adult things were happening on the couch, and Patrick was doing adult things. We'll leave it just like that, okay? And she goes back to bed. Good person that she is, just crawls back in the bed after seeing something like that happening. And she wakes up in the morning, and she asks Patrick, "Where's the baby at?" And Patrick says to her, "Girl, you tripping." I guess they're all doing drugs, so they're all tripping. Brown ends up saying that Patrick had a trash bag in his hand, and he was walking out the door and turned around and said to her that he wanted to know where the lighter fluid was. So he ends up telling them they don't have any lighter fluid, and that he walked out. And then she says that he walked through the wooded area there, and I'm going to show you on video the area that I believe it to be, and the area that one of the maintenance men at the complex told me it was. He walked through the wooded area, and he put her body into the trash bin that was located there at that time. All right, so that's about all the he said, she said that I really want to talk about with them. So they admit that they were at or Patrick ends up admitting that they were at the Tom Brown Village Apartments. He admits to talking to some kids there. He claims he only told them to stop playing with a mouse, that they would get rabies or something like that. In the meantime, a couple more teenage girls came out and told the story basically that they were at a gas station, and a guy walked up to them, and somebody else was in the car also, which I'm sure was Derick, and offered them some candy and offered them a ride and all this kind of stuff. And they ended up going inside. There's security camera footage of them going inside. And they spent almost $20, like $19 and some change on candy. And so he pretty much puts himself there where the kid was taken. The people at the neighborhood ended up picking him out of pictures, and they knew it was him. So in the meantime, like I say, Brown had already told the cops that he put the child in the trash there in the dumpster. So the cops end up coming over to the apartment complex. It's the adjacent complex right next door to the one they were in. And as the cops are there digging through the trash trying to find anything, the truck that takes the trash away pulls up to get the dumpsters. How ironic is that? Had those cops have been just 30 minutes late, an hour late, you probably never would have had the end of this story, because once they put these bodies and stuff in these landfills, they're so big, you just never end up, they never find anything pretty much once they're in landfills like that. So the cops end up redirecting the trash bins to another area where they can actually go through them. And I believe it was like 12 tons of garbage inside of, there was two containers there. I think it was 12 tons total, I believe I'm saying that right. So they end up doing the autopsy on Cupcake. They find out that she has trazodone, I think I'm saying that right, in her system, and she has methamphetamines in her system. And it was at the levels, which meant she had to ingest. It wasn't like secondhand or anything like that. I don't even know much about drugs, but they found out that she was killed by asphyxiation via strangulation. So someone manually killed that poor child. And you know, I looked it up, and the sad part about it is they go take this girl, abuse her, give her drugs, and from what I read, when you give them methamphetamines to a child, they have like a fight or flight type thing, and they'll panic and cry. This 3-year-old ultimately was asphyxiated because of what they were doing to her, of course, but probably the drugs that they gave her made her freak out, I'm sure. These two have already been convicted. Kidnapping that resulted in the death of a minor. It's a guaranteed life sentence, regardless which one of them actually killed her. What they both did resulted in her death. February 24th, 2023 is just a few days away, and that is the day they will receive their sentencing. I think it's Patrick is at 9:30, and then Derick is at 10:30, and I will be updating all my social medias with that verdict when it comes down. Everyone knows what it's going to be. It's going to be life imprisonment with no opportunity, no chance of parole or anything like that. But I still will update it. I was going to hold off putting this video up until after then, and it's something I wanted just to go ahead and do and put up. It's a heartbreaking story, man. This is one that it's really hard to get through it. I have a child myself, and anyhow, enough about all that. I'm going to take you over to the grave now. I haven't actually walked to it. I parked on the other side of the road. The grave is up this hill over here behind me. We're going to walk over there together, and I'm going to show you the grave. I'm going to show you some pictures, and we'll do a little outro when we get up there, and we'll end this video right here. All right. All right, now her headstone's right over in here. When you come in the main entrance at Elmwood, you'll see this round office. I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see it. Right there. Just take the left. Come right up here. Okay. Her grave is right up here in amongst all of these flat ones. And I don't know which one it is. Like I said, I have not been over here yet. But I do know the general area. Talk about it, want to take your breath away. This is one of them right here. I have to contain myself a little bit, or y'all gonna see Big Bait get a little cracked up, because this one here affects me very deeply. You know, family, friends, everybody, I'm with y'all, man. I wish there was something we could do, you know, bring awareness. I'll tell you all as kids, man, don't talk to strangers. Go back to the old school ways back when we was kids. You don't talk to strangers. Don't be taking candy from strangers. You know, keep that going, man. These predators these days are you know. Thank y'all for coming to watch the video today. Prayers go out to this little baby's everlasting, eternal soul, the family, the friends. Can you imagine the pain? Anyways, we love y'all, man. Family, friends. Y'all are in my prayers. I got a list. I'm putting you on it tonight. And y'all reach out to me in this video, man. If y'all see it and y'all appreciate it, hit me up. I'd love to talk to y'all, offer y'all anything I can. All right? We'll catch y'all on the next one. Thank y'all for the support. Like, share, and subscribe. We'll see y'all. Thanks. Bye.